Welcome along to the Broadcasting Lounge yet again. We are racing Tuesday night in Supercars NZ with the Sim Lab V8s. We are very excited to be here as usual. Alongside me in the Broadcasting Lounge tonight is Corey Kitchen. How's it going, Corey?
Yeah, Shano, I'm pretty good. We've hit Tuesday, the penultimate round of Season 1, 2025, the Summer Series as we call it. And here we are, Sandown, somewhere where we all love to come because it's close to home, I guess.
Yeah, and it's a track where we get to see these cars race once a year in real life, so very cool to take them there in the sim and have a blast around an actual Aussie track, a track where these cars do visit on a regular basis. And as Chris points out under Racecrafts NZ in the chat there, if last night was anything to go by, it should be action packed. And it is always a very action packed circuit. And as we bring up the track map, you might be able to see a little bit of why. Very tight, twisty stuff with a couple of long straights linking it all together, and it really does lend itself very strongly to tight, exciting racing.
Yeah, said no one ever. It is the Pukekohe of Australia around a racehorse track,
Yeah,
but
you're
it is
not.
still alive.
You're certainly not the only one that's noticed that similarity. I have as well.
It's a thing.
Liz. And 3.13 kilometre circuit. 19-degree air temperature out there at the moment with 71% humidity and a little bit of cloud cover around, so potentially a cloud floating over the track at the right time of qualifying could give someone the chance to put a nice quick lap down. And we are in qualifying at the moment, and we can jump down trackside with our current Div 2 provisional pole sitter, Zach Christie, smashing the limiter at the end of the back straight there, so he's obviously running quite a short gear ratio there, climbing over the curbs on the way down the hill. But he's done a 108.23 to sit on provisional pole at the moment. Currently 0.2 clear of Michael Jones in P2.
Yeah, those two not only fairly close on the track right now, but even in the championship points, Michael Jones currently on 520 points and on 439, which is 81 in maths, I think. Someone might be able to prove me wrong, but I think it's about 81. Just a quick guess. Behind, and Nathan Cadman sitting in third, Lee Swinney fourth. Nico Cordia is he here tonight? Don't see that name here. So maybe a drop round for him. Michael Dowell, Billy Rowley, Dylan Radford, Heath Mahone, and Phil Carpenter rounding out the top 10. So yeah, 81 points, the difference between these two with 2 rounds to go. And unfortunately, tonight was meant to be heat racing, but we're going to be doing a 45 lapper, Shana.
Yeah, we are doing a 45 lapper, not heat racing. Um, so it'll be interesting. The way the fuel has been set, which was not at all intentional by Sean, as Phil Carpenter has a bit of a spin down at Dandenong Road and resets to the pits. Matthew Gerard stopping at the start finish line, getting some early practice starts in. But as I was saying, with the fuel, not at all intentional by Sean when he set up the server, but they are, by the sounds of it, going to be about 4 or 5 litres short on being able to do the race on one stop. So they're going to be left with the option of either coming into a late splash or save a bit of fuel. Or I suppose the other option is split the fuel in evenly across 2 stops and just do a dedicated 2-stopper with slightly shorter fills at both stops. So there's a few different options there. What would you be going for, Corey?
I love it when there's options. I would back myself to be able to fuel save because that's something I always like to think that I could do. But yeah, can you fuel save that much? Well, we might find out tonight. Someone might get lucky. But like you say, I think the 2 stopper, 2 shorter stops, you know, no live race control tonight, so no safety cars going to come out and bring everybody back together. So yeah, I honestly, I'd probably try and fuel save first, and probably if I had to wave the white flag, splash of fuel, we might see that.
Yeah, I think the fuel save should be doable. I think the question is, with tyre wear as well and a longer race, is it worth just committing to 2 stops? And normally you'd look at it as if you can get through it on 1 stop without losing too much time with fuel saving, then you'd bet yourself to save it, and at least you're losing less time than by doing an extra pit stop. But if you can get that time back just by being on fresher tyres, could be worth it to split the race into 3. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see what people do, but there's definitely a few different options out there.
Options are plenty. It wouldn't be Tuesday without it.
Absolutely. I think the people that we see take the late splash option are going to be the guys that have tried to save it and just haven't quite been able to do enough.
Yeah, that would be me, waving the white flag and getting that splash at the end. Yeah. Well, I don't know. We're going to find out, I guess. But you got to get it off the line, and of course we could call it a mini enduro kind of 45 laps. It's going to be close to 50 minutes, I think, the race.
Yeah, it should be somewhere around there, just over a minute for a lap around here. So
Yeah,
as we roll into the warm-up, we're doing something a little bit different with our weekly sponsors this week. You can see where we normally have our weekly sponsors just above our broadcasting lounge logo. Some different file sizes going on there, unfortunately, meaning we've got some different sizes of logos, so some are coming up a bit smaller as someone's had a monster moment at the end of the back straight there. But we are saying a big thanks to all our weekly sponsors over the course of this season. And you've got a list there that you can rattle through, Corey.
yeah, how fast can I do it? And does it make any sense to anybody? We're about to find out. So we'll start. I'm going to do it in the list of how they've done it. And so Napa, obviously, first up. So it's not going to be this slow, but Jigsaw Projects, Phoenix Driver Development, Wearcraft, Sync, that's pronounced Sync, like your kitchen sink, but spelt with a Q, OKMS, Racecrafts, Bulk Electrical, MRX, Jigsaw, Allports, and MRP obviously are here with us every week on a Tuesday and Thursday as well. So yeah, big thank you to all of those guys, and make sure if you're filling in the entry form for next season, which should be coming out in a week's time-ish, I think was from memory from a meeting. But so that's coming up pretty soon. So get your stuff in, and in the entry form you can put in if you would like to do the weekly sponsorship, and we appreciate them too because they give us stuff to give away as well, and we love that, don't we, Shane?
Yeah, absolutely. And it is worth noting that that option's there on the sign up form, and the fact that the vast majority of our weekly sponsors are league members, which is very cool. It's guys that have signed up, ticked that option on the form where they've got a business that they can promote through a weekly sponsorship, and they're happy to take up that option, and it does give them some publicity towards their business, and a lot of them are some racing themed and helps with a little bit of their sales, but definitely a very valuable contribution towards us. So we very much appreciate it, and we would love it if you guys can get out there and support those guys whose logos are ticking across the screen at the moment.
Yeah, support local, isn't it? That's the one.
Absolutely.
Don't give it away to the big man overseas in his big mansion. Some more practice starts going on there.
Yeah, Chris Zalewski doing some practice starts, and that I think highlights what one of the biggest challenges with these Gen 3 cars new for this season has been is the tricks that used to work in the old Gen 2 cars to get them off the line cleanly, they don't work in these things. So you have to do a clutch start against a line locker and release the line locker. Sorry, hold it on the line locker to find the bite point and then release the line locker and feed the clutch in. And that is a very fine art to get that right, and that's why you see these guys out there doing so many practice starts at the moment.
Yeah, we've got a KRS driver joined in tonight too, Shane Edgar. He was asking me before how to start one of these cars off the line, and I said, "Well, I have no idea because I've only done it once, and that was the day that they come out and race at Detroit, and I think I did the first heat race and didn't start the second. So I've done it once, and I bogged off the line, did it terribly.
I do remember the first time we raced them, and I think a lot of people tried the old hold it on the brake, full throttle, and oh, there's a lot of wheel spin.
Yeah, still works with the older cars. That one, I love that.
It was a very handy little trick. Of course, we do love realism, which taking that away adds realism, but you do have to feel for the guys that don't have a clutch pedal because I don't actually know how they get them off the line without a clutch pedal. And there's a lot of guys that do, or a few guys around the league that do just run a two pedal setup. I know Sean talked about mandating the clutch starts, and there are a few people that are like, well, can't do that because I don't have a clutch pedal. So I'm not sure how they're getting on with these new cars, but
The auto clutch.
we can have a look at the grid anyway. So we've got Zach Christie lining up on pole with Michael Jones alongside, Phil Carpenter and Matthew Gerard in behind, then Billy Rowley, Michael Dow, Kyle Taylor and Heath Mahone. I'll try and rattle through this quickly because we do have a short gridding period. Nathan Cadman, Steve Darren, Phil Whiting, Chris Zalewski, Andy Uden, Leith Swinney, Bill Kilgour, John Lee, Matt McDonald, Kristen Jenkins, Shane Edgar, Jeff Horgan, David Logsdale, Jonathan Turner, and looks like Tom McCall is going to round out our grid tonight. Maybe Wayne Hartnell and Brendan Wayne Hartnell and Brendan Brownie, sorry, in behind as the lights are coming up now and we are getting ready to go as they all fan out down towards turn one.
Oh,
Oh, there's a
got a
moment in the
car.
background.
Yeah,
Heath
Falcon car.
Mahone. Yeah, Heath Mahone dropping down the order. Looks like maybe Leith Swinney involved as well. Zach Christie has taken the early lead, bit of side by side between Racecrafts and Passion Sim Racing there. Off down the back straight now. Mostly into single file at this point. Zach Christie is going to lead them into the run down the hill. And down into Dandenong Road now. Certainly all the top 10 look to be in single file. Somebody's run a little bit wide on the run down the hill in a passion car there. Got it pulled up. But certainly going very deep at the end of the back straight. Oh, big moment there. That livery is a new one to me. Couldn't quite pick up who that was. But it is going to be Zach Christie leading out the first lap. Was almost out to half a second lead over Michael Jones, but Michael got into turn one very well. Got that down to 3/10, but it has just stretched out again. Oh, passion car off in the background. That looks to be John
Oh,
Lee going backwards.
someone across the grass there too. That black car there.
Yeah, did see that. Might have been Matt McDonald. Yep. Not at all aided in that conclusion by McDonald and massive riding across the windscreen banner.
Just trying to work out what's happened to Shane Edgar. He's stuck in the fence.
Yeah, so Shane showing a lap down at the moment. And he's towed back to the pits.
He has now, yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened. He was
Oh,
stuck in the fence.
Matt McDonald having a rough time. He's just run off track again, going into the final corner there. And now he's got Jonathan Turner all over the back of him, and Jonathan's going to pull out and try and make a move down into turn one. Not quite able to get there.
battle for 13th and 14th. So JT, he's up 9 spots too.
Oh,
Oh, he's coming backwards.
Jonathan's gone around. His teammate Wayne Hartnell getting caught up in that. Everybody filtering through. And he's backed it into the fence there. Saw a car having drama in the background as well. It looks like that might have been Tom McCall. Certainly plenty of action already in this one. Chris Lewski involved in a tight little battle here. Phil Whiting in behind, Steve Darren just ahead. And Chris pulling out of the draft early on the front straight, but he'll tuck in again past the pit exit. Phil Whiting thinking about a move down into turn 1, but not able to get down there.
A 25 car started there, Brad, on Twitch.
Good to see a comment on Twitch that's not just a bot.
Yeah, bots are plenty there, always telling you they've got a fancy way they can get you more followers.
So we can go back and have a look at some of the early data. So Heath Mahone was caught up early on. Looks like he got away slowly, getting wheel spin, and then I think that might have been Steve Darren, certainly one of the jigsaw cars, into the back of him, just not expecting him to get out of the throttle as he was fighting for traction there and just making contact. Just an unfortunate thing there, and that was Leith Swinney as well, getting involved in that. Just nowhere to go as Heath came hard across into the Armco there.
People don't like Vulcan tyres, says Brad. No, there's 2 splits, so this is Div 2 tonight, and the final round next week from Oran Park will be Div 1.
So that was what happened to JT there. Matt McDonald just going for a move into turn 2 there, probably a bit late, locked up, and unfortunately not able to avoid contact in the end there. And I think it was actually Tom McCall that we saw arriving on the scene with nowhere to go. Had to cut across the grass as well. Did a good job to get it slowed up and not cause any more damage to himself or his teammate, but certainly very unfortunate circumstances there that he found himself in.
Yeah, so it was a software issue for Shane Edgar. He just lost all steering and everything and got stuck in a fence. Welcome to Supercars NZ, son.
Yeah, that is very disappointing. Sim racing is a lot of fun when it goes well, but unfortunately you have those frustrating moments where things don't quite work out and give you a hard time. And I guess it's a little bit like when your car breaks down in real racing. Sometimes you just don't have a good time and things that are out of your control go wrong. Much the same.
Yeah, most certainly is, and we have seen it before. One from memory, Bruce Tannock with the straightforward. I can't remember the track. Do you remember it, Shane? He just missed Rehan, or did he hit Rehan, and they both ended up into a wall. That was messy.
Yeah, I can't recall the track either, to be fair. I mean, as you speak of Rehan, I can remember a time when things certainly completely out of his control went wrong when a certain admin accidentally deleted him from the race.
Oh yeah, oh dear. Who was that? Name and shame. Actually, in the comments, like if you're watching and you want him to name and shame the admin, give us a guess. How many yeses does it take, Shane?
I mean, I can just go ahead and name and shame myself on that one because there's no reason not to.
That's fair. We could have got a few people to say yes first. Yeah, I still can't believe it's round 10, season 1, eh?
Yeah, round 10, and with the Enduro round last week, we've gone 11 weeks through the summer series. Now, well, this is our 11th week of the summer series, so Thursday night in the GTEs is going to be round 11 of that. One more round after this week for both series, and then we're into autumn. I
What
can't
better
believe how quickly it's
birthday
gone.
present for myself? My birthday is Thursday, and we get to take the GTEs to Detroit. I'm
Oh, how
flipping
cool.
excited about that.
It's
Yeah, I might drink a few bourbons and try and have a yarn that night.
Sounds like a good plan. And I mean, we probably couldn't have planned it better if we tried. And we didn't plan it at all. We're literally just following the iRacing schedule.
That's right. Yeah, and I did make a comment in the admin chat many moons ago when it came out that Detroit was on my birthday, and I was pretty stoked about it. And so yeah, it works out. It works out. Oh, Matty McDonald's found himself in the fence there, so that's just those Team West cars and Steve Darren or Bill Kilgour walk out of his life there. So
Yeah,
Matty
Matty.
normally joins us in the comments. He's always in there rooting for one of these boys probably behind him here.
Yeah, Matty just not having a good time tonight. Off track again. That might be a
Oh,
sign of him just giving up out of frustration.
no, we got a
Oh,
lid skid. Oh, there's been...
oh.
I got
He's
excited for the
towed
lid
out
skid,
of
but
there. Yeah,
that was
it
that
was.
was a little bit unnecessary, I think. But when it's
Yeah,
like, you let frustration out sometimes.
I I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt and say there might have been some equipment failure there. Um, Certainly, I can understand as well if it was just out of frustration why you might do that. But well, let's just say that's why you do need to try and control that frustration if you're on track in a league race and just pull over and quit out, and then maybe go and do something like that in a private test session.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I enjoy a lid skid. But I enjoyed the lid skid, but yeah, we're out there racing. They've still got 35 laps to go.
Yeah, sitting on lap 10 currently, and we can get the information up there that tells us that's lap 10 out of 45. We can lose the session time information because we don't need to know about that at all. It is going to be laps, unless somehow we decide to start driving around very slowly. There's not going to be a safety car because there's no live race control in Div 2. Oh, as Phil Whiting in the BOC car has a big moment out of turn 1, got the big tank slapper on there and comes back out and carries on.
Yeah, yeah, you just got to do that. I reckon to get more satisfaction out of finishing a bad race than you do not finishing a good one.
Yeah, that's right. And very cool livery there. Good throwback to a classic BJR livery from a time when Brad Jones himself used to actually drive the cars as well as own them.
And that car behind us, that a take on the Pepsi Max car.
Yeah, Cole Taylor,
It
Pepsi
is.
Max Camaro there.
That's pretty cool. I like that. Got nostalgia too, doesn't it? So that's two in a
Yeah,
row,
absolutely.
racing each other. How good.
Yeah, good to see. There are some fantastic car painters out there on Trading Paints who do some great jobs recreating some of those retro liveries, and they've done a great job of putting them on to these new Gen 3 cars, which are a very different body type to the cars these liveries were originally created for, obviously. And they do a great job of making them look fantastic on these cars, and they make them available absolutely free of charge for people to run in their races.
Yeah, they do. How good does car 99 look?
Car 99, Michael Dell. Well, that's a throw forward, I guess, isn't it?
It is. It's
And
a
and
chuck
Ford,
forward.
Ford, Ford in more ways than one.
Nailed it. Oh, we love the banter.
That is the future. That is 2026. Red Bull Ampol Racing on a Mustang. And, well, Michael was running that from the start of this season. Doug and I had expressed our disappointment in that combination before the official news came out that it's going to be a reality. Maybe Michael knew something that we didn't.
Yeah, maybe he's on the board of control. We'll never know.
Must be mates with J-Dub or somebody at Ford, because apparently those were the only people that knew about it until 24 hours beforehand.
Yeah, that's maybe they got the idea from Michael Dow. I mean,
Maybe.
that's yeah.
Maybe,
I think
but
that's probably more plausible.
that's it. J-Dub was watching the broadcasting lounge. He saw Michael Dell's car and he was like, right, we're going to Ford.
Absolutely, that is exactly what it was. And if anybody disagrees, that's fine. You couldn't have your opinion. But, yeah, we're going to roll with that, I reckon.
That's the story we're going to run with anyway.
Tell you what, we haven't had any Mr. Plough action. I've missed that this season.
Yeah, well, he's been busy adjudicating on other people's ploughs this season.
Well, back to the nostalgia battle between Cole Taylor and Brad Jones Racing.
Yeah, Cole getting close in behind Phil now and getting the draft down the back straight. Does he go for the move on the run down the hill? He's going to pull out of the draft. They're going to go side by side. Oh, Phil's given up the corner, but Cole going deep and running wide, and he'll pick up a slowdown for that as well. But Phil getting the rear locking there, and Chris Zalewski's had a moment at Dandenong Road as well. Cole Taylor pulling ahead. Oh, there's contact. I was about to say I'm not sure if Cole's cleared that slowdown or not, but he certainly would have by now, but dropping back as well after that contact.
Oh, yeah. All heads that come to an end. Ambrose is making a comeback too, says Scotty. Oh, that Brad, that's an interesting comment. We won't touch on that.
So Billy Rowley coming under a little bit of pressure for the final spot on that podium at the moment. Matthew Gerard inside half a second behind him there.
Yeah, doing well up into P3, up 2 spots, Billy Rowley.
Oh.
Matthew Gerard, as solid as ever. He's always thereabouts, top 5, isn't he, Matty?
Yeah, he is. And that onboard shot there out of the final corner was a prime example of just how hard it is to get traction on these cars. He was fighting the steering all the way through there. You are turning for a long time after the apex of the final corner because you got to get through that little kink as well. And yeah, it gives a real challenge to try and get the power down, especially in a car that is as low traction as this one. But he's done a good job to get a good exit onto the back straight here and gets a good draft from Billy. Just sits in behind for now. He'll try and get a nice clean run through here and see if he can get a better exit off Dandenong Road. Still probably a bit too far back. I think Billy actually got the better of the exits there and was able to stretch out a little bit. But he goes in quite deep there. Matthew gets a good run through and he has the opportunity now to tuck into the draft.
Douglas Bickley in the comments there, Shano. Evening, guys. And then Nico, where are you, Nico? Having a night off? He says, hey, boys. And Brad's asked if there's any female drivers. No, here it's not. They're very rare here in New Zealand, actually. Oh, they're out there somewhere though. I hope they are.
Yeah, certainly a sausage fest at Supercars NZ.
I wasn't going to say that.
Someone had
One
to.
less sausage here tonight because Doug's not here.
If there are any females out there watching, or anybody that knows a female that might be interested in getting into sim racing, by all means come and have a blast at Supercars NZ. You'd be more than welcome.
Maddie says equipment failed, so well done, Maddie. You did a lid skid for me. I'll accept it. But yeah, unlucky, mate, with the equipment failure. That's two tonight. What's going on?
Yeah, a couple of reliability issues out there with the equipment. Unfortunate to see. And by equipment, it was just trying to see how many flips I could do.
Maddie just. Sorry, yeah, Matt. It is Maddie, Matthew Gerard. Still putting that pressure on Billy Rowley.
Be more dodgy if you were here, Doug. So, Matt Gerard, yeah, as you say, still putting that pressure on, but not able to find a way past as yet. I wonder if he might start thinking about an undercut at some stage soon, but... Oh! Well, not anymore, because although he might still be thinking about getting into the pits to get some repairs now, that was a big moment out of the final corner and made the wall, unfortunately.
Yeah, there's plenty of those to choose from around here as we see the magic rear bumper flapping around.
Oh, he's broken the steering as well. He can't get it turned into turn one. He's going to pull over and tow. Oh, that. As I've just managed to click on Tom McCall making his way into the pits, but I'm gutted, not just for Matty Gerard there, but for us and for everybody at home, because that was teasing such an epic battle for the podium there, and we've been deprived of that, unfortunately. But Tom McCall looks like he's the first guy in to make a stop, and well, we're certainly short of halfway. I would suspect everybody that's trying to save would try and get as close to halfway as possible before they stop, because you're just going to have to run it out in the first stint, get as far as you can before you fill it up, and then try and save as much as you can to get home. So I would say Tom McCall was probably committing to a two-stopper there.
Yeah, if I haven't seen commitment, I don't know if I ever have, but yeah. So he stopped lap 18 and 24 seconds up on the jacks, or just about 25. So we'll check out what everybody else is going to be doing. Leaf Swinney's made a stop lap 7. That will be after that incident. Maybe he got a meatball, not too sure. Matthew Gerard obviously towed. He's got a meatball, and we've lost Brendan Brownie, Shane Edgar, and Matty J. McDonald. Though I think Shane's trying to join back up. So, yeah, good luck.
Also, that was Michael Dowell taking a trip through the gravel there, rejoining just in behind Nathan Cadman. But yes, Leith Swinney and Heath Mahone both pitting early on. Heath certainly due to damage. I suspect Leith Swinney might have got away without a meatball early on, but might have just, in those early laps, decided that he had a bit too much damage to push on and decided to get in and take a fast repair. Maybe running backwards as well, and or running the strategy backwards, and recognising that from there he would pretty comfortably be able to do the rest of the race on one stop. So just getting an early splash of fuel and a fast repair, and then he'll push through till he's in the window to get home and make a second stop. But a few more guys coming into the lane. Nathan Cabman, Wayne Hartnell, John Lee, Christian Jenkins all making stops. And again, only on lap 20 out of 45, so still a few laps short or a couple of laps short of halfway. If
Yeah,
they're
that screams
going
two
to,
stoppers.
yeah, if they're not going to stop again, looks like they're going to have to do a considerable amount of fuel saving.
Yeah, so at the moment, Nathan Cadman is the first of our cars that has made a stop, and he was 22 seconds. So Wayne Hartnell 25.6, and who's the other one? John Lee 22.40.
Oh,
So they're pretty close. Yeah, Thomas McCall 24.92. So Nathan Cadman a little bit short of a stop, but I'm suspecting that those guys are going to be stopping again for sure. These guys that run long, they're going to have a chance to, yeah, go as long as you can on that first tank. I think that's key if you're going to try and fuel save, isn't it?
yeah, it is, but I'm picking. So 22 and a half laps would be halfway. We're on lap 21 now, about to start lap 22. I reckon at the end of the next lap, if you haven't been able to save enough to do an extra lap, you're going to be having to come in. If you've been able to save half a lap, you might be able to do that 23rd lap, and then that means you just have to do 22 on the second stint, and that's going to put you in a more favourable position. Michael Dowell in at the end of lap 21. Zach Christie has been in control of this race out front. He's 2.5 seconds clear of Michael Jones. His last lap pace was a 109.75. That was nearly a second off his best. And Michael Jones on a similar pace as well. So I wonder if those guys have been out there just saving fuel while they've got that margin out front. And certainly looks very smooth and under control from Zach. We'll watch what he does this lap. Does he have enough fuel to go on for one more? No, he's in now. So he's going to have to do 23 after he's only managed to do 22 on this stint. So that's interesting. Billy Rowley coming in as well.
I'm guessing it's going to be a long train of people coming in, because if they've got enough to do another lap, that's pretty much going to secure them a good win. If you can get another lap out of it from here, that's going to mean one less lap you're going to have to do on the fuel at the end. So yeah, the fuel saving starting right at the very start of the race, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And typically that's the way it has to go. If you need to save fuel, is you have to be hitting those numbers right from the start. Bill Kilgour stays out, hasn't pitted. Zach Christie's managed to come out ahead of Bill, or only just though, it was close. But Bill able to push on for that 23rd lap. That's going to mean a little bit less saving, potentially no saving for him on the second stint. I'm not sure exactly how the numbers line up there, but I guess if it's about 5 litres, that's probably about a full lap, maybe a little bit more than a lap. So just being able to do that extra lap means it's going to be a little bit less saving for him in the second stint, and he's going to be in a slightly better position than everybody else around him. So that's a good play from Bill, assuming he makes it around.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he is the one that told us the 4 litres too earlier. So, and evening the Laz in the comments. Yes, this is Div 2, or the Sim Labs Championship now it's called, and Sim Labs is available at allports.nz, and if you get on there and you pick out the SimLab products and you use the code SimLabs, I think is it SimLabs NZ, Shane? I think it is in lowercase.
SimLab NZ, no S.
That's it, yeah, no S, and you put that in at checkout for 10% off. And that's to anybody, if you're watching or you're part of Supercars NZ, you get amongst it. And again, support local.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've got that code ticking across at the top. What I neglected to do was add it to the description, but what I'm doing now is chuck it in the comments for everybody.
And is Bill going again? He has.
No, he's been in.
No, he hasn't. He's gone in. Right, yeah. I'm caught up. Looks like everybody's made that first pit stop now. And the order is back to Zach Christie at the front. The 4-second gap back to Michael Jones. Billy Rowley third. Nathan Cadman, Michael Dow, Stephen Darren up 4 spots into P6. Good work, old boy. Bill Whiting up 4 spots into P7. Lee Switty in P8. Chris Zalewski and Cole Taylor rounding out the top 10 so far. So we've got 20 to go. Let her rip.
Yeah, we're over halfway. We've had everybody come in and make that stop. Still some saving to go on for pretty much everybody. A little bit less saving for Bill than a lot of the guys around him, especially because John Lee, Wayne Hartnell, 2 cars in front of him, put it on lap 19. Tom McCall ahead of Wayne, lap 18. So Bill's got a chance here. Those 3 cars all in shot need to do a fair bit more saving than what Bill does. So he can push on a little bit more and has a chance to get some extra speed and see if he can find a way around. And also just the fact that he gets some slipstream means a little bit of the saving's going to do itself for him as well, just as a result of having a little bit less air to push his way through.
Currently he's where he started too. So he started in 15th and is currently in 15th. So he hasn't lost anything from that first lap. And I think the savings are going to be good at the end. So I reckon he's going to make up at least 6, 7, 8 spots.
Yeah, watch this space. We're just hearing the chopper in the background on your mic again, Corey.
There's definitely no chopper here. I think it's probably a connection issue.
That sounds a little bit better.
I haven't changed anything, so I'm guessing it's just the we'll start again. Atmospheric issues.
Could be.
Yeah, well, Doug's not here, so somebody's got to make a little bit of silliness. Of course, Sandown also the home of the most viewed Supercars NZ race, which was your first streamed, Shane, and first time we'd worked together too.
Yeah, the Simplex Sandown 500, the first one that we did, and yeah, that absolutely went off. It was very cool and a great event, and while we haven't got any concrete plans in place, it is absolutely our intention to bring back the Simplex Enduro Cup for a 3rd season this year. I shouldn't necessarily call it the Simplex Enduro Cup because we haven't talked to Simplex at all about whether they would want to sponsor it for another year, but certainly want to bring back that same format, and got to focus on the battle here because Michael Dowell's going to try and go around the outside of Nathan Cadman. They've done well to make it work side by side, and ultimately Nathan just not able to get it pulled up at Dandenong Road because he was offline all the way down the hill, and Michael Dowell taking advantage and even manages to put a few car lengths on him on the exit. But yeah, certainly wanting to bring back that Enduro format with the Sandown 500 and Bathurst 1000, and hopefully bring some exciting new additions to that as well. We've managed to successfully run a top 10 shootout last week with our MRX Enduro, and I would certainly love if we can do that again for Sandown and Bathurst this year for the big 2 driver Enduros, as Michael Dowell re-locking into turn 4 and gives up a little bit of that advantage that he had to Nathan Cadman. But looks like he was able to recover quite well from it anyway.
So a cord come loose from Shane's wheelbase, and the throttle just stayed on, and that's how he found himself in the fence. As we see John Lee putting some pressure on some Team West cars. It's Wayne Hartnell and Tommy McCall. Both up double digits too, those two boys. Thomas McCall up 11, Wayne Hartnell up 12. They generally start from pit lane or at the back of the grid, these boys, and just enjoy racing through it. A little bit of pressure coming from behind though. You got Bill, who's in a good spot. He's got more fuel than everybody else.
Yep, Bill Kilgour pitting that lap later, able to get a little bit more fuel in the car, and you can see he's been able to close up on the back of this pack, and for now he's just taking his time, probably using the opportunity to use that draft to save the little bit of fuel that he does still need, and I'm sure he will take his opportunity when it presents itself.
So I'm seeing Kristen Jenkins has made 2 stops. So right off. And his last stop, 8.23 up on the jack. So is that his splash? Is that it for him? Is he going to try and run it out? Lap 25, he come in. So
Yeah.
20 laps, definitely we know is doable.
Yeah, I would say you're bang on there. He's got that late splash out of the way early, and been able to get some clear air in front of him as well, because he's 10 seconds behind Jeff Horgan. He's got a jigsaw car passing him now. That was Steve Darham putting a lap on him, and Steve actually goes wide, sailing wide at turn 1. Manages to get it back on before the apex of turn 2, so avoids the slow down there, I believe. But yeah, so Kristen, despite the fact that he's having to give way to a couple of lead lap drivers here, he's in a good position in terms of having 13 seconds, so he's lost a little bit of time to Jeff Horgan through that process, but a big gap to Jeff Horgan for his next 4 position driver, and yeah, he could be able to make that work for himself and get some gains there later on.
Yeah, so currently Billy Rowley running in 3rd. So Michael Dowell, he's been moving his way up of late, and so he's almost half a second quicker than Billy last lap. So he's got enough time to launch an attack here too, and this could, change within the pit stop as well. All it takes is overshooting your pit bay, and you're going to get held up a few seconds. So you've got to think about everything when these tight races happen, don't you?
Yeah, you sure do, especially when it comes to pit strategy.
Oh, I love the delay gear there. I was like, oh, he's not going to say anything. So I was about to go, yeah. I was just going to talk to myself. I'm sure the 5 viewers would have loved it.
Well, I was trying to think of the best way to respond because, in all honesty, I hadn't quite paid attention to everything you were saying.
I'm guilty of that. I am honestly guilty of that. And we know Wayne does that too.
He sure does. And to be honest, I was a little bit distracted by Billy's SDK profile picture there and wondering if conspiracy theory is Billy Rowley SVG's cat.
Ooh. And I can tell you that Billy is another local here in Timaru too. So I actually met his boss today. His wee girl goes in the same class as my son at school. He works for HOS, which is House of Sports Simulation in Timaru. cool little spot. They helped us out with our last Enduro for Mental Health, so a little bit of love there for them before they even opened the doors too.
Yeah, very cool. So what you're saying there is that he's probably not SVG's cat that was rumoured to be racing for him in the COVID E-Series.
Yeah, it could be the same person. If Billy Rowley is actually SVG's cat,
Well,
because of course I don't.
I don't know. I'm just going off that profile picture.
Is that SVG's cat?
Could be. Maybe
No.
that's not really Billy Rowley. Well, it's just a cat. And the fact that he's sim racing, if it's a sim racing cat, I was just making a very vague connection there. Anyway.
Vague here in the broadcasting lounge tends to go into a 20-minute waffle. We're lucky Doug's not here because there would be plenty more on that. Cats that can sim race. You know, show us your examples. Actually, post them in the Supercars NZ community. I want to see some AI pictures. Cats sim racing.
Well, hang on, we do want to be careful about having too many cats posted around the broadcasting lounge, don't we?
Well,
Oh,
we've had cat recipes come up before too, haven't we?
yeah, that's what I was hinting at there. But Nathan Cadman, looking a bit like a cat recipe there with the front bumper missing. I don't know if that segue worked at all, but we'll say it did.
I've lost for words, so it's all right. A bit of lap traffic too to deal with for these front runners now too. So we're noticing everybody's getting a little bit closer together. Michael Jones has actually pulled up that gap to under 4 seconds now, so it's around 3.5.
Yeah, so Michael Jones showing good pace in the second stint. His last lap was a 109.5. That was half a second quicker than Zach Christie, so certainly closing that gap up.
Yeah, it looks
Maybe
like Nathan
he's...
Cadman and John Lee now down the lane to take their second, or it looks like Nathan Cadman's about to pull out. Yes, they are both from back out on track. No, they're in the pit.
Yeah, so those guys taking their splash, although Nathan, 30 seconds in the lane, he's back out on track now. 9.8 second stop time even, so yeah, just a splash there. Might have managed to get some tyres on in that time. I think about 8 seconds it normally takes to do tyres, so yeah, I would say looking at the times for most of the guys that have made a second stop there, it's between 8 to 10 seconds, so I would say they are chucking some tyres on while they're there as well.
So I'm just looking at it. Leaf Swinney and Wayne Hartnell actually have jumped Nathan Cadman in that pit stop, and they pitted for longer, so they've made it up in their first stop, maybe. Um, yeah,
Yeah,
crack
they
position.
might have fueled short on the first stint there and got track position and then made enough of a gap in that middle stint to come out ahead after the second stop. Um, we can have a look at what happened to Nathan Cadman as well, because he was hard into the fence there when we picked him up. Oh, just getting a little bit of a slide onto the curb, and then once he got onto it, there was no bringing it back, unfortunately.
Ooh, and you don't want to drive too far in the wrong direction around here either. You'll get disqualified. Oh, Doug, he's not even here, and he's done it.
Oh wow, that is.
Oh, it's pretty good.
We're gonna have to go to Billy Meowley in P3.
Yeah, I was going to make everybody go to the comments and to find out what that was about, but that was pretty good. Thanks, Doug. That gap to Michael Dowell, 1.6 seconds now. So again, half a second quicker that last lap, Michael Dowell. So putting the pressure on. Michael Dell's fastest lap a 108.85. Billy's is a 109.04. So in that top five, Billy is the slowest car. So that's just generally, look at that. He's just punching above his weight like us Kiwis love to do.
I mean, it's hard to drive. It's hard to drive when you've got paws, right? It can't be hard. Like, how do you hold on to the wheel with those little paws? You have to dig your claws in. How do you put the force into the brake pedal? It can't be easy.
Well, cats are nimble, Shane.
They
So,
are.
yeah. You know, you're bouncing around all nimbly-bimbly from tree to tree.
I don't think that helps with the race car though.
No. Oh, God. Back to the battle here. So this battle was for P8. We've got P8, P9 and Bill. How many is he up? He's up 5 spots now into P10. So is Bill going to have enough fuel to make it home?
Well, he's certainly got the best chance of being able to do that out of the whole field, isn't he? He got that extra lap on the first stint.
Well, no, Bill has enough to get home. He did 25 laps on a tank of fuel, so he can do 20.
He did 23 laps,
Oh, he did too.
but
Right.
certainly can do 22, which is what he needs to do from when he pitted. Where most of the other guys everybody that managed to get to lap 22, which was the furthest anybody apart from Bill got on their first stop, all those guys need to do 23 on the second stint. He has to hit a number that he knows he's already exceeded in the first stint. So yeah, he's the guy that is absolutely in the best position on fuel.
Yeah, well, are these cars in front of him all fuel saving too? They all come in a lap. So here we go. Michael Dell, he came in lap 21 and he's just come down the lane. So there's your first clue. So he's come into the lane out of P4. So that's the first one out of this top 10. Well, we'll say top 11 have not pitted. So Wayne Harton was currently the first car that's done 2 stops.
Yeah, so Michael in the pits, and he is also the last of the guys, actually, not quite. I was going to say he's the last of the guys that didn't even make it to lap 22 to pit, to take a second stop, but Matthew Gerard pitted on lap 18, also hasn't taken a second stop yet. Surely there's no way you can stretch that out though.
No, well, he towed too. So he's found
Ah,
himself
yes he
back
did.
on the lead lap too. No, he isn't. Well, he's just a lap. He's a lap down. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got, Zach Christie has just recently put him a lap down, I think. He's just up the road, so. Yeah, and I think will likely need to come in again at some point.
Well, that'll be a top 3 finish for Bill, I reckon, if he can somehow manage this. Well, he's 49 seconds behind Zach Christie right now. And you look at their pit lane times going through pit lane, 49, 47, 47, 48, 48, 32 from Michael Dow. So that's a fairly quick time, but 10 seconds up on the jacks to get that splash. 47, 47, 48. So yeah, Bill, I still reckon he could pull something out here. I'm praying for it.
Yeah, so we're going to depend on who can get that extra lap in the second stint that they didn't get in the first stint. I think Zach and Michael, just purely based on the fact that they had a little bit of a margin, probably can manage it. Billy Rowley's coming under pressure from Phil Whiting, so that's not going to help him.
No, he's 29 seconds back, Bill.
Oh, sorry, he is too. Apologies. So yeah, Billy can probably, well, yeah, he's got that margin to be able to save. So I think those top 3 I'm picking are going to be good. It's going to be in behind where it gets interesting. So I reckon, I reckon Bill might pick up another 5 spots from here and get a top 5. Oh, Phil Whiting having a big slide out of the final corner there. We're not too far away from finding out who picks and who doesn't either, because we've got 4 laps to go at the end of this one.
Michael Dell's on a steamer right now too. He's come in and taken that lap of fuel. I don't think he would have taken any tyres, but he's done the fastest second sector of the race, 17.9. First car under the 18s for the race in that sector.
Yeah, so he's on a charge. He did stop for 10.7 seconds, so that would have been enough to cover tyres. So I would suspect he potentially did take some tyres. I'm just seeing a comment from Doug that came through a while ago, and that's a very good question, Doug, on what happened to Cole Taylor. I don't think we quite picked that one up, but he has dropped
Yeah.
back. He's in the pits again now for his second stop, but yeah, he was top 10 and not anymore.
He got caught up with looking down the list for the name. Phil Whiting, didn't he? It was the BOC car. They got tangled up together, didn't they?
Oh, yeah, you're right, actually. And he has... So the reason he's in the pits again now is not scheduled. Oh, that's only just caught the end of that. This might catch a bit more of it, hopefully. Oh.
Yeah, that's a cardinal sin. Don't go backwards onto the track.
So that was, I think that was, yeah, it was Jeff Organ. So he has had a moment. And then...
Yeah, there's not much he can do there, eh? He's up against the fence. But yeah, you got to keep an eye on your relative.
Yeah, he had to reverse, but you're right. He needs, yeah, you need to watch that relative. And look, at the end of the day, nobody's perfect. We all make mistakes, and certainly wouldn't have been any intent there from Jeff. He just, yeah, either misread the relative or didn't quite think to look at it. And yeah, oh look, the Twitch bots are back.
Oh, yay. On that note, well, I'm going to go and thank all the Twitch bots. No. So look at that. Nappa's just come up, so I'm going to go to the top of the list. You got all our weekly sponsors from this season: Nappa, Jigsaw Projects, Phoenix Driver Development, Wearcraft, Sync, OKMS, Racecrafts, Bulk Electrical, MRX, Jigsaw Projects, and of course, every week, All Ports supporting us here on Tuesday. And with the Sim Labs promotion, you can go to the All Ports website, allports.nz, and if you get on there and look for the SimLabs products, you can punch in the SimLab NZ code at checkout for 10% off. Thanks to All Ports and SimLab NZ.
Yeah, very cool. And we're on the penultimate lap of the penultimate race. And I've jumped to Zach Christie because I'm interested to see. This is the moment of truth. Does he need to come in for a splash, or is he going to commit to going the distance here?
Yeah,
He commits.
Steve's come in.
Steve's
Yep,
in.
Steve's done after. Yeah, he's done it. He's on his way out here now.
Michael Jones stays out as well. Billy Rowley coming up to the pit entry now. So it looks like Steve's just been able to get out ahead of Bill, so that wasn't a spot for Bill, unfortunately. Although we like Steve as well, so...
That's right, we do. I did say I thought Bill would be up, but I think I said 6 in that number, and he's up 6 currently.
So Phil Whiting, can he go on for that final lap? He pitted on lap 22, he goes on. We know Michael Dell's fine because he pitted on lap 38, he's really taken that splash. Andy Uden goes on through. Chris Zalewski coming into the last couple of corners now. Looks like he thinks he's good. But Zach Christie has been able to get around, goes the distance, one stop, takes the win. Well done, Zach Christie. Michael Jones, P2. Billy Rowley looks like he is going to round out the podium there in third. Phil Whiting running in fourth, nearly 30 seconds back from Billy. The question is, does Phil have enough to get to the line? Steve Darren and Bill Kilgore have just crossed the line 8th and 9th a lap down. So Phil coming out of the final quarter now. He's close enough that he can coast if he has to. P4, Michael Dowell, P5. So the two-stop strategy dropping him back a little bit from where he was, but still one up from where he started. Andy Uden brings it home in 6th. Chris Zalewski 7th. Steve Darren, as I said, coming home P8 from Bill Kilgore 9th. Nathan Cadman rounding out the top 10. Then we've got Thomas McCall, Wayne Hartnell, Leith Swinney. These guys have all crossed the line and doing their burnouts. Heath Mahone, Matthew Gerard, John Lee has towed back to the pits. Kristen Jenkin, Jonathan Turner, Jeff Horgan, David Logsdale has since towed back to the pits. And Cole Taylor, I don't think came back out after that late crash and tow that he had there. So it looks like 20 finishes tonight.
Oh, God, I messed that up. Just it said podium yarns question mark FCNZ. Joyce scored.
Joyce scored.
He goes out, get it here, mate, for a yarn.
Alright, well, we've still got some burnouts going down on the track. See, who said the Chevy engines are unreliable?
Oh, look at the state of, is it Tom's car in the background, his front. Can we get it close?
Oh,
Oh, there's
there's
a
Tom's
cooked engine.
car. Is that Kristen still going? Yep, sure is. And he tows back to the pits now. But anyway, that was our
Oh,
penultimate
hang on,
race at Sandown.
we've got some people jumping in for a chat now. So should we bring in the race winner first?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, you started off.
Cheese.
Oh, that was an interesting noise. Zach
Oh, there you
Christie,
go.
the celebrations have started early by the sounds of it. Well done, taking out P1 tonight at Sandown.
Yeah, thank you. It was definitely a good race. It was something that I was focusing on trying to get back into because I've had a couple of weeks off. Just life in general has gotten in the way, so I was like, we'll focus on this. Come back strong. I knew qualifying, I was going to be okay with that. I was up and down in qualifying during the week in terms of doing practice runs, and I was like, just going up against Michael because that guy is pretty fast on one lap pace. And once I got into the lead in terms of getting qualifying time, all I had to hope was get a good start, which is up and down for me. But I got a great start then and just controlled the race. So all I had to do was fuel save a little bit for a couple laps because as I pitted, I was stressing out because I thought I wasn't going to make it, but I did with 0.5 laps of 0.5 laps of fuel left. So got to do my burnout at the end. So that's all I'm happy with.
Yeah, we were going to ask about fuel because we did hear that it was going to be tight for fuel, and we noticed that you were lap 22, half a lap short of halfway, but you obviously managed to make it work in that second stint.
Yeah, great. I was just cruising at the start. Got the lead as I said before, and I just made sure I could try and stay ahead of Mike and Phil at the time, and gain that little bit of space. Then when I had the pit stop, he pitted with me as well because we were both on like just under 1 lap of fuel, and we we're sitting there wondering whether we could make it. Mike reckoned he could. I was a bit hesitant on it, and I was like, oh, I may have to pit. But just letting off here and there throughout the lap helped out a lot, and clutching in on the first corner definitely helped just ring back in that fuel, because I don't think I probably would have made it on that fuel strategy that I did. So very happy with that. It's all about luck as well, so happy with that.
And anyone you want to shout out tonight?
Shout out my family, friends, all that sort of stuff. Glad to be on stream as well, so it's pretty cool to jump into the broadcast like this and have a chat with you guys and talk what it's like in the back end in terms of what a driver goes through. So it's pretty cool just to say that and what we do as well. And I tell you what, I'm sweating buckets after that. So yeah, it's pretty good. And yeah, shout out to my sponsors as well, race teams, Race on Oz. They've come on board with me halfway through the season, so getting the back end with those guys. So happy to have them on as well. So always great to be a part of it.
All right, good stuff. Thanks and well done again on P1.
Awesome. Thank you guys. Have a good rest of your night, and thanks for broadcasting it. We'll see you soon.
Cheers, mate. Alright, so that was that Christie P1, and Corey disappeared and has come back.
Yeah, no, I was just kicked in with race control. And,
Alright.
plenty of drama in Div 1 tonight, so they're just going through that at the moment. And Sean was watching our stream, so he's seen things. So we'll bring in our third place tonight, Billy Rowley. He's got his mic muted, so we'll see what happens here.
Na Catman. Billy
Billy.
Rowley. P3.
Yeah, it was a bit of hero on the field.
I tell you what, there was plenty of talk. We were wondering if you're actually Shane Van Gisbergen's cat.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, you know, all those rumours back in COVID that Shane Van Gisbergen's cat was actually on a sim racing in the Pro E Series. You got a picture of a cat in your SDK data, so all we seen was a cat, and we had a comment from Dougie, and he called you Billy Meowley.
Yeah.
Lost for words.
You're not alone.
So it's a bit of a hot way to come into the box, but P3, mate, you'd be pretty stoked with that. Some fuel saving to get yourself home.
Oh, I still thought we were doing 2 sprint races earlier today, so I was a bit surprised that I had to do some fuel saving, but I think I had it down to 2.48 litres per lap at one stage, which was a bit overkill. I had half a lap of fuel left at the end, but...
That'd be enough to do a good skid, though.
Yeah, I guess I got lucky because, was it Phil Carpenter blew his engine into turn 1 at one stage. He was ahead of me. And I think Michael Bell held a few slowdowns, and he did a 2-stop anyway. So it was pretty safe, P3, but not easy.
Yeah, looks like five of your 6, maybe 7, 8 people did it on one stop.
Unreal.
Yeah, no, well done, mate. Got to be happy with a P3 for your Tuesday, and get back to doing some sim racing. Do you sim race from work, or you got a sim at home?
No, I got a sim at home. I did, whenever my computer can't run the triple screens, I go to work, but Sandown was alright.
Yeah. It's handy to be in the industry, isn't it?
Yeah,
I have been in a position myself before, and it was always fun going and getting on motion sims and trying to race them, but I was always quicker on my home sim.
Yeah, I usually find that too. The motion's a bit much, but good experience.
Yeah, all right, man. Well done, mate, and we'll hope to see you out there. We won't see you next week because we'll be streaming Div 1, but good luck for the final round next week.
Cheers, boys.
Here we go. There's Billy Rowley. So P3 tonight. So penultimate round, all done and dusted. Shano Next week we head off to Oran Park, where we don't know if it's going to be heat races or if it's going to be a single race. I guess we'll see what what Sean loads.
Yeah, we'll see what we get when we turn up, and we're going to be back on Thursday with some GTEs at Detroit. A very special birthday present for Corey there.
Yeah, iRacing giving without knowing they're giving. Thank you. Thanks, iRacing, for your service that you provide us too. We appreciate it.
We sure do. And thanks, of course, to All Ports and Sim Lab for backing the V8 series here at Supercars NZ. We absolutely appreciate all their support and all those weekly sponsors that are scrolling across down the bottom of the screen there. Thanks to all of you guys for your amazing support. We couldn't do what we do and give away some pretty cool prizes to the guys that come and race week in, week out without having those sponsors to help us do that, and also helps with some of the costs of putting the racing on. Not that there's huge costs, but there are fees for putting up servers, and helps out with that and allows us to have that prize pool to chuck out there from time to time as well, which is pretty cool. So big thanks to all of those sponsors for making all that possible. And of course, if you head to allports.nz and check out their SimLab range, you can type the code SimLabNZ in at checkout for 10% off those SimLab products. So that is a very cool offer that Chitty has made available to us, and we were informed that Chitty would be watching tonight as well, and I did see as soon as I chucked the stream up that he had liked that. So if you're still there watching, Chitty, thanks for tuning in, and thanks for all your support. We really appreciate that, and thanks to everybody tuning in at home. Lots of comments rolling in on the live stream tonight, which is really cool to see. So we really appreciate that, and well, we'll see you all on Thursday at Detroit. Can't wait.